The mission of Ability Found is to give people, mostly those with disabilities, freedom that they wouldn't normally have through donating equipment, usually what we call durable medical equipment, which would be wheelchairs, walking devices, so that people would have some bit of freedom that they didn't have previously. With the Select 25 grant that we received this year, it allows us to give people freedom that they've either had in the past and don't any longer have, or they've never had. And many of us just take for granted things like walking around, leaving the house, going up and down a flight of stairs. Most of the people that we help just don't have that ability to do that. And one of the catchphrases that we have at our foundation is the miracle of freedom. And it's truly a miracle. It may not seem like it every day until that's taken away from you. But when you have the ability to again access the community and activities, could be school or a job or just to get out, it's incredibly life-changing, and that's why I really enjoy working at Ability Found, and it's just amazing to partner with people like Select Health to do that.
The Alzheimer's and Dementia Society started as a grassroots organization, and we exist because of volunteers. We provide a lot of education, so that's one thing I feel passionate about, because I was a caregiver in a rural town here in southern Utah. It was so hard to get information and access services. The caregivers that are giving care face unique challenges, and every person with Alzheimer's or dementia is different than the next person. I live in a really small town and have a caregiver there that is such a good man. He just absolutely loves his wife, and he is dogged determination to keep her at home. And yet, like so many people with this disease, the person with Alzheimer's disease is an older person, and the caregiver that loves them is an older person that often is frail. Here they are struggling to do the very best they can, and we're trying to show them resources and refer them to places. With this one really neat family, he just got teary-eyed and he says, "I love her, and it's my job to take care of her, and I want her to stay home with me as long as I can." They still have a need for each other. The caregiver needs the person with dementia, and the person with dementia absolutely needs the caregiver.
CAPSA is a domestic violence and rape recovery center. We serve victims of domestic violence and sexual assault, all the way from crisis intervention through transitional housing. In our transitional housing program, we wanted to help survivors find ways to just create community and peace for themselves, and they came up with an idea of sharing a community garden, and they've used it to not only grow food to help reduce their budgets and provide healthier food for their families, but it has turned into a place where they can find peace and just community support among themselves. We had a family move into our transitional housing, and when the mom came out to weed the garden, we said, "This is your peace garden. This is where you can come and work with other women who've experienced the same thing and find peace together." And she said, "I couldn't stand that there were weeds where my peace was supposed to be." And she said, as I was pulling the weeds out from the garden and throwing them in the bucket, I knew that it was a symbol for my life, that I could pick those weeds out and the weeds from my life out and leave them in the bucket where they needed to be and move on and watch my own life grow and succeed from there. Last year we had 20 families participate in the community garden and realized that we needed a lot more space, and approached Select Health and applied for the Select 25 grant to expand that garden and make it bigger so that the families could benefit from it more.
The Friend to Friend program actually started 4 years ago at the old Rogers Memorial Theater, and it began with my son, who was a junior in high school, saying, "Mom, we need to teach a dance class for special needs children." We meet once a week and practice music and dancing and singing and help them with their flexibility, with memorization, and give them an opportunity that many special needs children don't ever get in their entire life. I wish that you could spend an hour with us and see these children and the magic that happens as music and dancing is brought into their lives. It's like they go into another world and they experience this freedom. I don't know if I can say thank you enough. We are deeply grateful for your selection and honored that you would consider us. Thank you so much.
The Child and Family Support Center was established in 1982 with the mission of strengthening families and protecting children. Our nursery provides several different services to children and parents in our community. The first is planned respite care. So it's a planned timeout for parents who are in chronically stressful situations. Secondly, we also have crisis care, and that's for parents who are in an emergency situation, day or night. We're able to help them with their children. For example, right now we have several families that have a terminal illness, and when mom or dad are receiving treatment or when they're not feeling good, we can take care of their children for them. The last service that our nursery provides is shelter care. So we are the child abuse shelter for Cache and Rich counties. So for children who have been removed from their homes due to abuse or neglect, they actually come and live with us until a safe placement is found. Let me express our heartfelt appreciation to Select Health for making a miracle come true for the Child and Family Support Center. Last year, we had almost 4,600 visits in our crisis nursery. That equates to a lot of mouths to feed and a lot of children to shelter. So thanks to Select Health, we will have supplies, we will have food, and the items necessary for us to take care of these children.
Circle the Wagons was founded as a result of our family's situation. In 2007, my husband Jeff and my son AJ were in Trolley Square. That was the night that they encountered the shooter, and my husband was killed in that mall shooting, and my son was gravely injured that night as well. And so Circle the Wagons is a result of our experiences through trying to heal through that process. This is how our family responded to the incredible support we received from our community. It's kind of a thank you note back to the community. This is how our family channeled our grief, was by giving back. And the only way we knew how to give back is from our own experience. And so this program is a result of our experience and our channeling our grief and giving back to the community. And it's been healing for our family, and I think it's been healing for the community. And when we all heal, we all do better. I can't talk about Circle the Wagons or the Can of Comfort program without crying, but it is my heart, and it's my thank you note.
Copperfield Elementary has about 500 students, just over, and we are a very at-risk population. Most of our parents work multiple jobs, and so our kids often don't have parents to go home to. Because we are an at-risk school, a lot of our students don't come with the skills to problem solve or to have adequate conflict resolution. We're teaching kids how to behave appropriately while they're at school, and we do that a lot through our Playworks program. One thing that has been really helpful is when faced with whose turn is it, our kids have learned how to Rochambeau, and it's a great, very fast conflict resolution problem-solving strategy that kids throughout our whole school, if you ask them, how do you decide whose turn it is, they'll show you as quick as can be how to Rochambeau. We are so excited to be able to accept this award. We are looking forward to be able to purchase playground equipment that these children might not have in their homes, so that we can send that home with them as incentives for their positive behavior, so that we can continue to teach kids how to play appropriately.
Kurt's Cuddles is named after my child that passed away of a heart defect about 16 years ago. We get pajamas for children and books and put them together and give them to charities in the Ogden area. The people that help with Kurt's Cuddles are family members. I have a sister that shops with me. I have family members who take tags off of books, who help me cut tags and put things together. And it's been a great experience for our family to work together on this. We have been so blessed to have that $2,500. I know that we can make that money go a long, long ways. We've been looking for pajamas on sale, from the winter pajamas, and then I buy the books at the Deseret Industries, and they have wonderful, very good quality books. And I'm very choosy about the books that I use, because I want the kids to feel that they're valued and it's not secondhand, that they're new and important for them.
The program that we run here at East Bay Post High is a program for students 18 to 22 that have disabilities. Our job here is to teach them skills while they're here, but we also want to impact them once they leave our program. I am so excited about the Select 25 grant, because some of the money that I would like to use for it is focused on getting my students to move more. I would like to purchase at least 2, possibly 3 adaptive bikes, so that they can be more physical, healthier, and that they can get outside. They love junk food, and so I would love them to be exposed to more healthy stuff. And so our hope is to, with the money that we receive from you, to expand our garden. I want my students to watch the whole process, from seedlings all the way to an actual item that they can eat. And maybe if they're offered some peas versus Cheetos, that they might try the peas. We might have future cyclists amidst us, and future gardeners, and people that will be able to contribute, and that it will be a leisure thing, not just something that they do while they're here, but that it will continue to impact their lives and the lives of those around them the rest of their life.
Our Independence High School after-school program is really recent. We've only been going in practice for about 2 to 3 years. The benefit of having an after-school program at a high school is that, statistically speaking, if students are here after school, that means they're not anywhere else. They're not involved in gangs. They're not involved in other violent activities. They're not going to be doing or selling drugs or getting into promiscuous activities, or just getting into trouble. They're not getting bored. They're here doing things.
Thank you for this award, Select Health. When I mentioned to my students that we were selected to receive the $2,500, they felt thrilled that somebody, a big organization, would actually consider them worthy to be able to receive this money, because it's something of value to them and it means a lot. So thank you. Whether it's just a soccer ball or whether it's just a volleyball, our students benefit from it, and that speaks volumes to them in terms of this community cares.
Iron County Care and Share is unique in that it offers comprehensive assistance and services to help individuals and families in need build their self-sufficiency and independence. The Iron County Care and Share Community Garden will be a fantastic resource for our food pantry. Our half-acre community garden will eventually produce up to about 10,000 pounds of fresh fruits and vegetables. Fresh produce is often very expensive and hard for folks to purchase. So not only are we able to provide more produce in our garden, but being able to just walk out back and pick it yourself is a great resource. We have plans to put in corn, squash, zucchinis, tomatoes, peppers, onions, garlic, herbs, items that our clients know how to prepare and that are most frequently requested in our pantry. We just want to extend again our extreme thanks. We're so very, very grateful for these startup funds, for this Select 25 Health Grant. It's going to bring an amazing resource to Iron County and to the families that we serve here.
The Oasis Community Garden has actually been in the works for about 10 years in Ogden. The space used to be just an empty, vacant lot. We have about 38 plots, and we provide all of the tools and water and support that people might need for planting their own gardens. The neighborhood that the Oasis Community Garden is located in was chosen particularly because of the socioeconomics of the area. It's one of the lowest income areas in Weber County and Ogden City. So we really wanted to impact young people especially in learning that you can spend time outdoors, but also that there's benefits from learning how to put a seed in the ground and digging in the dirt and watching that plant grow and caring for it over the period of the summer, and then getting the big payoff where you get to actually eat something that you've grown yourself. And so the children, I think that it really benefits them on so many levels as far as spending time outside, and then also having that experience of the fulfillment of growing their own food.
The New Hope Crisis Center provides all-inclusive services to victims of domestic violence and sexual assault, dating violence, and stalking. The emotions that somebody may be experiencing when they first come into New Hope Crisis Center is a lot of fear, a lot of embarrassment, especially male survivors of domestic violence might be experiencing some shame. When we have child victims, a lot of the parents are just absolutely emotionally drained, devastated. They have a lot of questions and concerns. A lot of our shelter clients worry about, how am I going to support my family now that I've left him? So oftentimes a victim of domestic violence feels very shameful, they feel very invisible, they feel unsupported, and so that's why we're here, is to provide that support for those invisible victims so that they can gain that new hope for a better future.
Well, here at Now I Can Foundation, we treat kids with all kinds of disabilities, neuromuscular challenges like cerebral palsy, spina bifida, any developmental delay. Over the last 8 years, we've seen hundreds of children come, and they all have different disabilities and different potential and individual goals. I was just talking to a mom last week who just said, I don't know what I'd be doing if Kaya were still crawling. If that's all she could do, I just am so happy that she's walking, and for the first time I have hope. We are so excited and so grateful for the grant from Select Health, and what we've decided to use those funds for are two different things. One is another neurosuit. We treat those things so carefully because they're so expensive, and they're the vest and the shorts all connected with bungees, and they really help the kids in so many ways with their therapy, and after so many washings and so many fixings, we just need to replace them, and we're in need of some smaller sizes of neurosuit. And we're also excited to get a new electrical stimulation unit that is more nuanced and more specific for walking. For us, many children for many years are going to be able to benefit from the generosity of Select Health and this grant.
In a place like Panguitch, a lot of times community members don't think that substance abuse is a problem or underage drinking is a problem in our community. But according to our surveys, that 35% of our school-aged youth are using alcohol, and that's a big problem in our community. So we're just, as a prevention coalition, trying to make parents and other community members more aware of this is a problem in our community. We have a Hope Squad, which is a suicide prevention program, and they're just a resource in the school. They're trained on how to recognize high-risk teens in the school and how to be a resource. Another group we also work with is our Youth Coalition, who provides peer education to groups in the community, such as our after-school program. We're very grateful to the Select 25 people and thank them a lot for recognizing that our small community, we're not a large community like the Salt Lake area, but we still have needs just like other areas. And we're so very grateful because we don't always get the opportunity or get picked for these type of things. And $2,500 will help tremendously to our program and the youth in our community.
Our main goal with Running Forward is to get the kids active. And one of the ways that we do that is we meet with them every week to do these runs around the schools, and then we also do these self-boosting confidence lessons as well. And the kids that we serve are all in Title I schools, so a lot of them don't have a sister or a brother or even a parent who's gone up to the university. And that's kind of our main objective, is to keep them active and then to make sure they get into the university. We do that by surrounding them with mentors who are all from the University of Utah. And our 5K that we have at the end of the year is actually up at the university. The grant that we receive from the program, 100% of it is going to go to shoes. That's our biggest expense. And a lot of times we spend all year trying to fundraise, hoping that we get enough money to cover all the kids. And to have that at the beginning of the year and to buy the shoes is just going to make such a big impact, because the kids will have correct shoes to run in, which makes all the difference in the world.
Salt Lake Donated Dental Services provides quality, comprehensive dental care for the indigent of Salt Lake. Funding from Select 25 is going to enable us to provide $3 of services for every dollar that we are receiving. So it really enables us to expand the capacity of services that we're able to provide. Salt Lake Donated Dental Services sees patients from all walks of life. So we see low-income patients, but we're also working with organizations like the International Rescue Committee to see patients who are just new to the United States. And so our only qualification is that those patients income qualify, so they can be homeless up to 200% of the federal poverty level. For many of our patients, they have been in pain for years. And so once we are able to get them out of pain, we are also able to provide them with options to save their teeth. Many clinics only offer emergency services. So for patients, this is a big deal. If they're able to restore their smile, for many it means that they're able to find gainful employment.
Well, in Sanpete County, there's not a lot of jobs, and so a lot of people are off the farms or they've moved here and they're trying to find work. The Kids Pack program was started to help children over the weekend have more nutrition, because there's a lot of children that suffer from wondering where their next meal is coming from, because during school they get their federal funded lunch and breakfast. And so what we've done is come up with a 6-pound pack that the kids can take home over the weekend and have extra nutrition for cereals and soups and some snacks, so that they don't feel insecure of where that next meal is coming from when I'm not in school. This grant from Select 25 would mean that we can expand our program for the Kids Packs to the entire county. Right now we're serving 3 schools, and we don't have to worry about where the supplies come from for the next 2 years. This means better kids in school, building better communities, and just helping our children.
Our goal at Sound Beginnings is to help these children who have these hearing losses to be able to develop speech and language skills. This program makes an incredible impact in these children's lives. Without the intensive speech and language services, it would be extremely difficult for them to achieve and maintain those listening and spoken language skills commensurate to their hearing peers. This year we started a new group, a family education and support group, where they get to interact with one another, share breakfast together, and then we have an educational topic that we focus on. And it's been a great help for these families, especially for the families who maybe have babies just coming into the program, into the birth to 3 portion of the program. And they get to meet with families who are graduating out and see how their child's progressed over this time. And it's a great support for them, a great educational opportunity for them. So the funds we receive from the Select Health Grant are really going to help us as we provide these services for families with our family education support group. And it's going to give families the tools they need to go on and help their children reach their full potential.
St. Anne Center is here to provide the homeless in northern Utah a safe place to sleep, out of the elements, food, and the basic necessities of life. We have 85 beds for the men, we have 34 for the women, we have 4 family rooms, and we serve about 200 lunches every single day to the local community. A lot of the families that come to stay with us, it's the first time they've ever experienced homelessness. It's very scary for them, not knowing where they're going to let their children sleep at night, whether they're going to sleep in the car, or if they have to, they don't have any funds to stay in a hotel or anything. So when they come in here, they're very scared. And so we give them a place where they feel secure. They know that they're going to be taken care of while they're here. We help them set goals to achieve those goals, to make sure that that once they leave here, that they're not coming back again. On behalf of St. Anne Center, our board of directors, the staff, and especially the people that use our services here, we can't thank you enough for the support that you've given us.
A few years ago, we learned that there were several children in our Logan School District that were going home hungry, and so we organized a group called Still Cool After School, where we fill backpacks with food so that the children can take them home on Fridays and have food for the weekend. This program is really important for these students because we have 3 schools in Logan District that have an 80% poverty level. So a lot of kids are going home hungry, and some of our principals have told us that over the breaks, when they have a long break, that they've actually lost weight and that they can tell that they're not functioning well because they're hungry. So the children can't learn if they're not fed. One of the ladies who helps me with this backpack program every week revealed to me a while ago that she was actually one of those kids that went hungry as a child, and the feelings that she had, that she went through, and she's now trying to pay back and help and loves to help with this program because of the help she received. So we're hoping that this impacts these children that we help to be able to focus better on their studies and on their schoolwork and progress in life and become individuals that contribute to their community as well.
The Learning Tree is a play-based and child-directed program. So that means that we focus on learning through play, which research has shown over and over again is actually how children learn best. We work with children of all abilities, including several students who have sensory processing disorder. And a lot of times these kids get kind of shut down. They need to be able to experience the world. They need to learn how to self-regulate. They need to learn how to take the input that they've been given and then respond appropriately. And that is what we are trying to do here, is to provide the opportunity for children of all abilities and with various types of challenges to learn how to respond to their world in appropriate ways. I'm just so grateful that there are people that recognize the value of what we are doing and are willing to invest in early childhood. It's such an important piece of our society, and so to have somebody recognize that children need this investment it means the world to me.
The Children's Justice Center is a home-like environment where children are brought when there's been allegations of sexual abuse or severe physical abuse. When children and families come into our center, they have just experienced something awful, and they're in crisis and chaos, and they're feeling afraid and worried, and they don't know who to turn to or who to talk to, who they can trust. So when they come into our center, we really try and provide them with an environment where they feel safe, comfortable, where they can open up and express what's been going on, and where they can find relief and healing. When discussing the issue of child abuse, it's very heavy, but the wonderful thing is there are so many people in our community that care. And year after year we get donations to our center and to these children. I mean, we have so many things we're able to offer them just because there are people in our community who care. So thank you to everyone who's willing to do whatever it takes to help these children.
The mission of Utahns Against Hunger is to create the public and political will to end hunger in Utah.
What we know is that for families who shop at the farmers market and individuals, is that produce is expensive, and it's coming to the point where it's almost a luxury item for them to be able to buy fresh produce. We're really excited to have the Select 25 grant from Select Health, because it's allowing us to introduce a program called Double Up Food Bucks, which is where people who have food stamps get 2 for 1. So in our program will work, you spend $10 and you'll get $10 additional in food stamp tokens to buy fresh produce. It is so important to have fresh fruits and vegetables accessible to low-income people, and to know that someone else knows that and understands that this group of people saw that in our application and realized the importance of it is so special to us, because sometimes we feel like we're battling alone in this quest, and so it's really great.
The We Care Center was established so that parents, students could bring their children to a safe, fun, and educational environment while they were attending classes. The idea to have the garden boxes here started with just the very beginning. We've always wanted to have more nature in our building and for the children, and we always get really excited when they can learn hands-on growing things themselves. Our parents will be involved a lot with helping their children to understand that we need to eat good vegetables to keep our bodies strong. The greatest part of this for the kids is that they will begin with planting the seeds. They'll be watering, taking care of the soil. They'll be weeding the boxes, and then as the time progresses and there's the harvest, they will be able to actually eat and taste the fruit of their labors.